How are you, my fans, sneak peepers, and curious friends? I am difficult and demanding. If you want to know my real name, then hold still, and I might bring your wish to fruition. Before we begin, you can find this podcast show in iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Blueberry, Google Play Music, TuneIn, YouTube, and Stitcher. Now, unlike the other people in your life, I actually care about what you think. So meet me halfway, take a tiny moment, and give my podcast and each episode a review rating. This is the I'm Difficult and Demanding podcast, keeping it real, uncensored, and shooting straight between the eyes. The third eye, that is. I am going to hit you with explicit truth. This solo show is outrageously honest and keenly witty with a view into life. Yes, I said life. That's what we do every day when we wake up from sleeping. We are living life. Well, some of us at least. Moreover, I hope to provide you with gut-wrenching laughter and a touch of wisdom. Let's get something straight. Really, really straight. I am truly, actually, habitually, and shamelessly difficult and demanding, and I completely own it. Now, I don't ask for much because I expect and receive it all. I firmly believe that if you expect shit, you will receive shit. What does that mean? Well, it means expect nothing but the best and don't settle for less. As always, I, your host Tara, am keeping it real and uncensored. It's been a long week, I know. But there's no better way than to end it with me. So unplug from your life and dive all into episode 38 of the I Am Difficult and Demanding podcast. We love fun new beginnings in relationships. But what happens with most relationships is that it doesn't end the way that it begins. Is there a way for us to have our beginnings resemble our endings? What would you do if an online stranger targeted you and tried to destroy your life based on a comment you wrote online? Before I begin, I am going to do a call out. What's a call out? Well, it's not a shout out. I am calling out you motherfucking lurkers. If you have entered my world, then be honest with yourself about it. You want to be here, and you know I want you here, so follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Finally, climb aboard and enjoy the entire show, because I am giving you plenty of ridiculous honesty. Once the podcast episode ends, I am keeping it going on my Instagram page at Difficult and Demanding and on my Twitter page at Mrs. D&D. Do you like adventures? What comes to mind when you think about an adventure? Is it something that you enjoy, you love, you like a lot, you dream about? Or is it something that makes you very scared and terrified? Seriously, what do you think about adventures? Do you live for adventures? Or do you run away from adventures? What do you do? And what is an adventure for you? Is it a place? Is it someone? Is it something? But if you think about it, relationships are like an adventure. Huh? What do you think? Do you think relationships are like an adventure? Think about all the different types of relationships in your life. Platonic, romantic, whatever. We have so many different types of relationships. Do you think they're an adventure? Some are probably boring as hell. Others are so exhilarating and exciting. Some irritate the fuck out of you. Others put you the fucking to sleep. Some makes you grow, expand, and learn. Others, it destroys, diminishes you from the outside in and the inside out. What do you think? Well, I'll tell you what I think. Each relationship is a different experience. Yes. It's a different vibe. It's a different experience. It's in a different exposure. It's completely unique. Like I said, some people will help you bring out your best. Some help you discover how great you actually are. Then you have the others, those that tap into the deep, deep, dark crevices of your being. They awaken a beast within you, a beast you never met, never knew you had within you. Yes. Oh, some of you know what I'm talking about. Yes. Think about all the different types of people you encounter, how some make you feel angelic and divine, and others make you feel like you are the devil itself, right? How is it you're the same person, but with each different experience with other people, you evolve into something else? You are not what you think you are or what you seem, all because of how you're interacting, vibing, and relating to another living being. How is that possible? And how is it possible for someone to awaken something in you that is so dark, mean, nasty, that is survival, that is there to crush, kill, and destroy if need be? And others, they have you floating, feeling light, full of love, full of air, rejoicing for all that you have and all that you are. Again, same person, which is you, but you're meeting different aspects of yourself depending on who and what you're around. What do you think about that? But here's the funny thing. It is absolutely wonderful when you have someone who is good for you and helps you grow and evolve and expand and be the best that you can be in a positive way. But what do you do when you have someone around you that's making you expand and grow and become nasty, mean, strong, dominating, all as a form of protection? And then when they awaken that in you, that beast within you, isn't it funny how they use that beast against you? Yes, they will use your own beast to destroy you. It's funny. It's really funny how relationships of all types can help you grow, or it can cannibalize you if you let it. Yes, it can cannibalize you. It can destroy you from the inside out and the outside in, all depending on who you surround yourself with. Yes, an adventure. This is probably not the type of adventure that you wanted to talk about, but you know me. You know how I like to do things. But yes, relationships are an adventure that can turn into a living nightmare or a sanctuary of bliss. The question is, what adventure, what type of adventure are you living? Yes, what are you living right now? Think about the people who are around you, who you surround your precious little time with. Are they giving you a sanctuary of bliss? Or are you living a fucking nightmare every moment, every minute of every day of your life? Do you know? Or is it a blend of both? If I had to put my money on it, I would say it's a blend of both, and probably leaning more towards a nightmare. The sad thing is, you're clueless. You don't know. You have a faint notion or idea because I'm talking about it right now. But you never really took a moment to think, shit, I never thought about the people possibly that I surround myself with are helping to stimulate and awaken something in me that I don't particularly like or care for. You're probably thinking, gosh, I thought that is all that I am and all that I can ever be. But I'm here to tell you, no. Have you ever considered the fact that if you change your scenery, you change your environment, you would change your being from the inside out? Who you are, how you behave, what you attract. Yes. Think very carefully about who in the hell is around you. And then start to look at your life. Does your life reflect the dream that you always had about what it would look like? Because I can tell you this, if it doesn't match, if it doesn't please you, then I can tell you, you have the wrong fucking people around you. So, are you going to answer my question? Is it heaven or hell that you're living? Or is it a nice blend? A number of you like I said, will fall in the middle of the spectrum. Every day we encounter people. Some you vibe with, others you do not. But I want to focus on the ones you vibe with. When you vibe with them, it feels so good. You want to be around that person or group of people. You feed off of each other. You guys are food for each other's soul. So you bring this person into your life. You reel them in more and more. You can't get enough. But eventually, that vibe that you initially felt slowly begins to change. But it's so minute, you don't notice. That is not what it used to be. You don't notice that what used to give you life is slowly sucking the life out of you. But you don't really notice because the smiles are the same, the quality time is the same, and all those assuring looks are the same. But if you sat down and checked your inner compass, then you would have an inkling that something is different, something is off. But who checks in? Shit, no one wants to check the fuck in. No. Because if it looks the same, yes, if it looks the same, then it must be the same. Yes, if it looks the same, it must be the same. The same exhilaration has lessened. The feeling has changed. But you don't care about feelings. You care about how shit looks, right? If it looks right, it must be right. But that exhilaration, it's slowly lessening. Yes, but you enjoy the familiarity. You're comfortable. You enjoy the familiarity. And you constantly reminisce about the early days. Yes, when things start to change and no longer feel the same, what we have is this ability to feel the void that is growing. We're not filling the void by getting what we used to from the other person. No, we start supplementing what is disappearing by fantasies of what used to be. You use the early days of your relationship to fuel your denial and assuage your inner suspicions. Here's the funny part. You are not on the original adventure anymore. Yeah, think about what I said. Your original adventure started off with certain feelings and experiences. But I told you, as time goes on, that has changed. So you are doing whatever's necessary to keep that dream, that life, that past experience alive. But unbeknownst to you, your adventure has detoured. Yes, it's detoured. It has changed. Your path has detoured and you miss that junction where it detoured because you are caught up in what you are seeing and hearing instead of what you are feeling. Your sanctuary has and is becoming a nightmare adventure. But you are clueless, completely clueless. All adventures have a beginning and an end. Now, when you choose to bring a person into your life, typically because it feels good, that's normally why you want shit in your life. Because it feels good. Now, some of you people might like to torture yourself, but I'm not talking about you crazy ass group. I'm talking about those who like to be happy and to feel good, right? Because if it feels good, it looks good, right? It feels good. It looks good. That's all the things that you get in the beginning. So naturally, the beginning is wonderful. But what happens with most relationships is that it doesn't end the way it begins. Think about it. Do you start a relationship the same way you feel when you end a relationship? Yes. Think about all the relationships you have ended. Have you ever started a relationship with those types of feelings? You're like, Tara, hell no. Why are you asking that question? because I want you to reflect on that. Endings have one set of feelings. Beginnings have another set of feelings, right? Why? Is there a way to have our endings resemble our beginnings? Yes. Is there a way to have the same feelings that you experienced in the beginning? Do you think you can have those feelings and experiences when it ends, when a relationship ends? I already know you guys are fucking side-eyeing me. You think I've lost what's left in my motherfucking mind. But beginnings and endings are the same thing. An ending is a new beginning, and a beginning is just a new ending. Okay? You're confused. Naturally, I'll say it again. An ending is a new beginning, and a beginning is just a new ending. What do you think about that? A beginning is an ending, and an ending is a beginning. Do you still have the same angst around endings? Yes. Now that you know an ending is just a new beginning, and new beginnings always feel so wonderful, do you still have the same angst surrounding an ending? And are you still head over heels with a new beginning? If a new beginning is just an ending, and endings make you feel horrible, then technically a beginning should make you feel horrible. And an ending, which is a new beginning, should make you feel wonderful. Now I have completely fucking lost y'all. Yeah, I'm sure some of you guys got it. Some of you possibly get it. Some of y'all are trying to get it. And some of y'all are saying, fuck it, she's lost me. But that's okay. All of you can come along on this journey with me. Yes, come along on this journey with me. So what is a beginning? A beginning is a point in time which something starts. And an ending is a final part of something. But if you look at everything on a timeline, beginnings and endings, there's really no finite point because everything is fluid. Everything is moving. Everything is moving. So what's so special about beginnings? And I think, for some people, beginnings are scary because it's an unknown. You don't know what to expect. You don't know if it's good, bad, crazy. You don't know anything about it. So you try to find and you try to search for things that resemble close to what you have experienced in the past. Listen to what the fuck I said. You go through life, and as you go through life, you build up history, kind of like a DVR memory of experiences, of people, of places, of things. And naturally, over time, things end. You leave a location, you end a relationship, you change a job. But for some of y'all, or for most of us, when you are embarking on a new beginning, you don't like to be out in the unknown, out in the wild, wild west. No, that shit is scary as hell on a soul level. So what we do as people, we play it safe. We stick close to the guardrails. We look for things, places, situations, and people that are similar to every and anything that we've experienced in the past. Because if it's close or similar to what we've experienced in the past, then we're able to move with greater comfort and confidence. But here's the fucking funny part. If your experiences have not been so great, and the people in your life have not been wonderful at all, by choosing that approach, sticking to shit that you are familiar with, you are basically isolating yourself. You are presenting yourself from actually embracing change that is beneficial and positive to you. If you stick close to what you know, and if what you know is not deserving of you, is not worthy of you, do you now see how you're stacking yourself for failure? You're setting yourself up to lose. You're setting yourself up for a repeated history of suffering, neglect, reject, sadness, disappointment. Yes. Oh, you didn't think about that? No. People would rather do what they know than to do what they don't know. This is what I said. You are able to move forward with things that are kind of similar to something you have known in the past versus going completely off the reservation and doing things that you're not familiar with. But that shit cannot work unless your history is mostly blissful. And if you have a blissful history, then you can roll with that line of thinking, that approach. But most of us have challenges. We have heartache, we have disappointment, we have neglect, reject, we have all those different things. So if that is how you're leading your life, by searching for places, people, and opportunities that are similar to what you have suffered with in the past, do you now see why your life is fuck all? Do you now see why you feel like your life is cursed? The funny thing is your life is not cursed. You're cursing it. Yes, you're cursing it. You are your worst nightmare because you're scared. You're scared. You're scared. Now, what's so scary about an ending? Yeah, beginnings are scary. Endings are scary. But everything is a matter of perception, right? You can look at an ending and say, you know what? I don't like what I've gone through. And what I've gone through and what I've experienced with a person, place, or thing was a major disservice to me and who I am and who I am becoming. So I am going to take this opportunity. I am going to take this ending and I am going to rewrite what has ever existed. It's kind of like a computer program when you overwrite what was over there. Yes, an ending is an opportunity for you to rewrite all the things that are quote unquote wrong. So why would that be scary? If you can paint a picture of your dream life, why would you be scared of that? Why would you be scared of that? An ending is just a wonderful opportunity for you to get right and get what the fuck you want. That's all the ending is. You didn't think about it that way, did you? No. That's why I'm here. I am here to help you. So are endings still scary for you? Are they still scary for you? Or do you now see them as a wonderful opportunity for you to invite the blessings that you deserve in your life? So how do you handle them? Endings and beginnings. How do you handle the feelings tied to them? I don't think most of you actually really deal with the feelings, the emotions that you get surrounding beginnings and endings. You don't try to understand where these emotions are coming from because those emotions are actually your instincts talking to you. They're your instincts talking to you. Endings, you're scared. You know why you're scared? Because you just came out of a motherfucking nightmare and you're scared of repeating that shit. But because of your habits and your decision-making skills, you are destined to repeat what the fuck you just got out of. Listen to what the hell I said. Listen to what I said. If something has ended, you're wiping the fucking sweat off your brow and you're catching your breath. Like, okay, I made it through this shit. You made it through it. Now you're starting anew. And you have all these feelings and emotions. Do you start trying to chart what those feelings are tied to and start addressing those feelings so that you can now approach your next chapter in your life with peace and calm and clarity? No. We go running from one fucked up situation into the jaws of another extra fucked up situation. Because we don't take the time to reflect what the hell is going on. We don't think about it. We just go gliding through motherfucking life just on cruise control and not taking the time to pump our brakes. Yeah, pump the brakes. Some of y'all motherfuckers need to turn the engine off and pull off to the side of the motherfucking road. Yes, some of y'all need to get the fuck out the car and actually start crawling because you are not ready to drive a motherfucking car. But that's neither here nor there. How do you handle those feelings? And why are you having those feelings? That's what you need to understand, because once you start to dissect those feelings, then you could start making the real changes that will allow you to paint and create a life that is your dream life, that is worthy of you. But if you don't go get the paint, the brushes, the easel, the board, everything you need to create that picture, you will never have that life. And all those things that I mentioned, those are your feelings. Those are your thoughts. That is what you use to create the art. And if you are creating a beautiful picture with fuck all utensils and supplies, naturally, you're going to have a fuck all life and a fuck all picture. Does that make sense? Why do you handle beginnings and endings the way you do? Yes. Let's think about that. You have all these feelings and things, but why do you handle it the way you do? Why some of you put your head in the ground? Other you fucking spinning around like a fucking cyclone or a tornado. Other you play dumb and dead. Why do you handle that way? Why do you become stuck, frozen? Why? Because when you're stuck and you're frozen, opportunities are passing you by. If you don't deal with those feelings and your thoughts, you can miss some shit that is like a dream come true for you. But you're stuck and you're frozen. You're stuck in your false beliefs. You're stuck in your past experiences. You're fucking scared of the unknown. You're scared of yourself. You're scared of your motherfucking breath. You're scared. And why do you think you handle it that way? Well, you haven't been taught how to handle change. Oh, yes. Change is the bad C word. Change. Change is hard. Change you can't control. Change happens no motherfucking matter what you say, do, or think. You can't stop change. And that is what is the problem. You lack control. And when you lack control, you feel out of control. And no one likes to feel out of control. But here's the funny part. You've never had any motherfucking control. Because if you keep making the same horrible decisions that bring you the same horrible results, in which you're living the same horrible life, what that leads me to believe, it's not even a belief, it's a fact. You don't know what you're doing. You're trying to control things you can't control. And the things you do have control over, you're too cowardly to take the reins and handle that. Yes, you're too scared. You keep trying to steer shit that you cannot steer, and the things that you have responsibility over, you don't want to take that responsibility. So how are you going to have everything you want, hope, and dream if you're not doing the work that you need to do? That's like you got someone over here, they're doing their job, and you got your job over here. And instead of focusing your job, you're focusing the other person's job. That's not going to work. You got to do what you can do, because that's all you can do. But the fact is, you lack control. But you never had control. You think you have control, but you don't have control. And that is why you are frustrated. So what beliefs do you have about beginnings and endings? Well, I can tell you this now. Typically, beginnings, people think are wonderful. Endings, you're scared as hell. You can't stand it because you feel like you've lost. You've done something wrong. You are unworthy. Because if you were worthy and you knew what the fuck you were doing and you're deserving, it would never ended, right? Yes, endings and beginnings for some reason or another are tied to our self-worth, our self-esteem, our value. And I don't know where the hell we got that from. I don't understand why what one has to do with the other. They have nothing to do with each other. But that is the belief system we had. We have and we have. Beginnings mean that you're a wonderful person that is bringing wonderful things into your life. But that wonderful things and feelings that you had, when it goes, then that means something wrong with you. You're inadequate. You're unworthy. You probably should have never had it in the beginning. And what I'm trying to share to you is your line of thinking is completely wrong. It's off. It's detrimental, completely detrimental to who you are as a being. Beginnings and endings, you really don't have any control over, because life is fluid. Life is all about change. With change, you have birth and death. Call it whatever terminology you want. Call it a beginning, call it an ending, call it a birth, call it a death. But that is something that you cannot change. So if you can wrap your mind, your heart, your soul, your being around the fact that you have nothing, you can't do anything about beginnings and endings. The only thing you can do is change how you look at it. So I told you originally, a beginning is really an ending, and an ending is truly a beginning. So if all that is confusing and I'm basically messing y'all up, scrambling your brains, then you should realize a beginning and ending is really nothing. It's nothing. It's something that we've created as humans to mark some points in time, to measure, to judge ourselves, to reflect on some shit that doesn't matter. When it's time for something to go, guess what? It's time for it to motherfucking go. And when it's time for something to arrive on your lap, guess what fucking time that is? It is time for it to be on your lap. You can't do shit about that. You have no control over timing. The only thing you can do is ride the motherfucking wave. All you can do is ride the wind like a kite. That's all you can do. We have a tendency, when it's something we really want, we hold on to that shit hard. We hold on to it tight. But if it's trying to leave you, what that means, hello, that means something else better is there for you. But if you don't let go of what is supposed to go, you don't have space for your next blessing, for your next treasure. Yes, a lot of us have abandonment issues, some severe abandonment issues with neglect and rejection. And that is why you are so fucking far behind on where you should be in life, because you're holding on to shit that no longer serves you. It doesn't serve you. Do you keep stuffing yourself full of food when your stomach says it's full? Some of y'all do. Most of you do not. Why? Because you know it's time to stop, to end eating. When it's time to sleep, you know that's your time to end being awake. So if we have all these other things in our life where there's beginnings and endings, why not do the same with people, places, and things? Why not just ride the air, ride the breeze, ride the wave? And your life will go a lot smoothly. Now, I'm not saying there's not going to be hiccups, obstacles, and hindrances. No. But when those things pop their head up, obstacles, hindrances, what that means is it's time for you to fucking pivot. Everything happens for a reason. If things are going smooth, click, 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 and all of a sudden shit starts getting, hiccups, hiccup. What that means is there's something for you to learn. You need to pivot. You need to take a detour, because that detour is for your benefit. It's helping you move along a path faster, slower, whatever it is, but life knows what you need at what point in time. It already knows. So how can we have the most positive experience for both points in time? Well, I kind of already given you the answer. If you let go of focusing on beginnings and endings, and you focus on receiving, listen to what the hell I said. If you stop focusing on beginnings and endings, which are quote unquote finite points in time, if you erase those static thoughts, those ancient belief systems, instead open yourself up. Yes, open your mind, your heart, your body, your soul. Just open yourself up to receiving. Then you will never have to experience a beginning and an ending. You're confused. I fucking like you that way. That means 1, you're listening to me. And 2, you're fucking trying. And 3, I'm going to help you keep the fuck up. I'm trying to help you understand and change how you view things. When you have these finite fixed notions and beliefs, it creates frustration. It creates angst. And I'm trying to get you to be more dynamic as a being, because the world is a dynamic place. So if you get rid of the words beginnings and endings, and you just open up to just receiving all the wonderful things that are there for you to receive, that changes the game. It changes it completely. Who doesn't like to get gifts? Shit, you can give me gifts all day, all damn night. Just give me more, give me more, give me more, give me some motherfucking more. Just give it to me. Just give it to me. Now, some of you people have a problem receiving, but my black ass, I don't have a problem. Give me what the fuck you got. Just got to be right, but give it all to me. Because when you're able to receive, you get more and more and more. But if you're focusing on beginnings and endings and all that stupid ass shit, what that means is that you're not open. That means you're closed off. When you're closed off, nothing can come through a fucking door. Unless you run through the motherfucking door and then you're going to get fucked up in the process. Nothing can come through a door. You receive things when it's open. Yes, when you're open, when things are open. That's how you receive. So that's something for you to think about. How do you identify the people to surround yourself with for your quote unquote beginnings and endings? I would say if people make you feel good, they help you learn and grow and be better, they're not hindering you, stifling you, those are the people to be around. If you got people judging you, side-eyeing you, questioning you, making you think that something's wrong with you because they're scared, they're fearful, they feel inadequate, those are the people you need to let go. Yeah. Instead of having beginnings and endings, we're going to do giving and taking. Giving and taking. You take the people that are good for you and you give those motherfuckers away who are not good for you. Listen to what the hell I said. We're not going to focus on beginnings and endings. We're going to focus on giving and taking. Receiving. Two-way, receiving, back and forth, giving and receiving. Okay? Giving and receiving. That is what we're focusing on. You give away those motherfuckers who don't work for you. Give those son of a bitches away. And the people that work for you, you receive them. You receive them as quick, as fast as possible. You receive those people and those things into your life. That's what we need to focus on. Giving and receiving. Give away what doesn't work for you. Take what works for you. Give away what works for you. Take what works for you. So fuck beginnings and endings. Because when you focus on beginnings and endings, you're hindering yourself, your happiness in your life. If you focus on giving and receiving, you are living a life from a standpoint of love. When you come with love, your life, you just get, miracles happen. Shit that's going wrong, solutions, people, things just pop up in your motherfucking life. Boom, out of the blue. Because you're open and you're fluid. You're focusing on giving and taking, giving and taking. You know, there's a constant flow of energy. There's no flow of energy with beginnings because that's a finite point in time, which means it doesn't move past a point. Endings doesn't move past that point. You're not fluid. Life is about movement, flow. So giving and receiving gives you a natural ability to ebb and flow, to go with the harmony of things. It's something for you guys to really think about. How do you determine the appropriate timing to end an experience or relationship? Like I said, don't focus on time. Time is a finite point on a timeline. Don't focus on time. You focus on giving and receiving. When something that you receive no longer works for you, you give that shit away and you take something else. That's what you do. It works until it doesn't work. When it doesn't work, you release it happily. Because you know when you release it, something else better is coming to you. That's all we need to focus on is give and take, giving and receiving. That's it. So how do you approach or handle beginnings and endings? You don't have to handle a damn thing. That's not your job. And actually, you don't have any damn control over that. You have no control over that at all. So let go of that thought. Let go of that belief. Focus on receiving, because I think most people in the world, y'all feel so goddamn unworthy. First, you'll never admit it to me, and you damn sure won't admit it to yourself. Receiving is the art of receiving your blessings. Yes, receiving, being open to receive is the key to get what you need and what you want out of life. Because when you're able to receive, then you truly know how to give. Yes. Some of us are great givers, but we don't know how to receive shit. Some of us just receive, but ain't got shit to give. What I'm saying is you got to balance both. You got to balance both. How do you handle the reaction, the response of the other party involved? Let's say that you determine that it's time for you to give a motherfucker away. Yes, you determine this son of a bitch is not working for you. And you want to give this motherfucker away. Well, their response, their reaction is really not your problem. Because if they're having issues with this flow of give and take that I'm talking to you about, that means they're stuck with some old static beliefs of beginnings and endings, and they need to grow and evolve. So I know it sounds cold and calculated, but actually what I'm getting ready to say is out of a place of love. You need to let them deal with their own problems and grow the hell up. And you need to move on to receive what is next best for you in your life. The other person will get it together or they won't. It's not your problem. How can you handle your feelings of guilt or obligation? Guilt and obligation. Oh boy, those are two words I just cannot stand. If you're living life from a point of love from a point of love, there's never any guilt with love. If you ever feel guilty about love, that means you're really not loving. There is no guilt and love do not go hand in hand. Love and obligation don't go hand in hand. So if you're dealing with guilt and obligations, that means you're stuck with some archaic type of thoughts and you need to get rid of that. If you come from a place of love, you're not intentionally trying to harm anyone. We all have our own different type of issues, but if someone's upset, they need to go do their own work. That's not your problem. So if you're feeling guilt, you need to figure out what the fuck you feel guilty about, because people who feel guilty, they feel bad. What that means is you feel that you're undeserving. You're not worthy. Obligation, that means you're doing some shit that you don't want to do, tied to guilt. Again, you're not coming from a good place. So, your shit is fucked up. You need to get rid of that. One way or the other, you need to move beyond that and let that shit go. What to say or not say about an ending. An ending can be a beautiful thing, all depending on how you look at it. Like some people say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. It all depends on who you are, what you're looking for, and if it works for you. That's it. Endings are not horrible things. All you got to know is to have the tools and the right state of mind to approach an ending with a graceful manner and a very sharp, astute mind, and rely on your intuition. And it can be just as wonderful as a new beginning. How do you move forward and not look back? Well, you move the fuck forward and you don't look back. If you're looking back, that means you have regret, guilt, obligations. And I told you before, if you're coming from a place of love and you're giving and taking, you're very fluid, there's no room for that. Because if you truly have experienced and learned and received all that you were supposed to learn and receive from a person, place, or thing, then when you're done with that, you're done with it. And it's time to move on and be excited about the next best thing coming in your life. If you're looking over your motherfucking shoulder while you're walking forward, you're going to land on your ass. You cannot move forward while looking backwards. So if you feel compelled to look backwards, that means what you were supposed to receive, what you were supposed to learn, and what you were supposed to experience, you did not do so. You did not do so. So then what happens from there? You meet another motherfucker who looks differently, but it's the same, and you repeat the same cycle of some form of dysfunction. So if, like I said, if you feel compelled to look back as you're moving forward, that means you've done something wrong, and you better try to plug that hole before you get a worse situation than what you originally have. When you give and receive and you've milked out all that you're supposed to receive, you have no problem letting it go, and you have no problem moving on, and there's no looking back. There's no looking back. You're done. You're so excited to move forward, you forgot what the fuck was behind you. And that's what life is supposed to be like. How do you gain the confidence and self-assurance in your decisions for beginnings and endings? Well, I think that if you change your mindset and you feel very comfortable with receiving, because you feel worthy and you feel loved, you don't need any confidence and assurance. It's already there. And what happens is when you can receive well and you receive so much, then other people start looking at you and they start getting really jealous. Like, who is this person? Why do they have so much? Why do they have this and I don't have it? What makes them so special? Yes, you start getting a lot of haters. And people don't realize there's enough for everybody in this world. Yes, there's enough for everybody in this world. The question is who's doing the work. The person who's doing the work gets all the blessings. And then you have all the fucking jealous people around you side-eyeing you. And when people are side-eyeing you, you shouldn't even notice them. Don't even pay attention to them. What you can do is help them learn how to get their own. But like I said, a lot of people are lazy. They don't want to do the work. So you don't need confidence and self-assurance. When you are able to receive with grace and with love, that confidence and self-assurance, it becomes a non-factor because you're coming from a place of love, and love ranks above all. It's above everything. Nothing can shake you. Nothing can move you. Nothing can stop you. So you don't have to worry about that. So if anything that you can take from what the hell I said, life, it will always be an adventure. But if you change how you look at how things begin and end, and you focus on giving and receiving, that changes the game for you. That makes you so dynamic and so fluid. Your life will seem as harmonious as it can be. And you will have people, places, and things popping up at the right time, right moment in your life to help you. But you got to be able to recognize an opportunity. Yes, because sometimes your opportunities, I said this before in another episode of mine, sometimes your opportunities don't come in the perfect way, timing, package. The shit ain't perfect. It's not perfect. But if you see something flying in front of your face and you're looking, well, that $100 bill has a black mark on it. I don't know if I should grab that 100 because, it's not what I imagined. Look, you're not going to get perfection. You're going to get as close to the best as possible in that circumstance. So if you see a $100 bill flying in front of your motherfucking face, and if it has a little bit of dirt or mud on it, grab the shit anyway. You can clean it off at a later date. Stop waiting for perfection and start recognizing opportunities that are right in front of your face. I'm going to say it one last time. Your opportunities are your blessings. They're not going to come in picture perfect packages. They're not going to come at the perfect time. They're not going to look exactly how you want them to look. They're not. But you have to be smart enough and astute enough to realize, oh shit, I see this. If I don't grab it, it's not going to come around again. Yes, if you miss an opportunity, it's going to go to the next best person. And then you have to wait for your next cycle of fortune. And you may or may not get something like that. So let me tell you, if you see some shit and it's wagging its tail in front of you, you better grab that shit before someone else does. You have a small window to take your opportunities. And if you don't take that shit, it moves on to the next best man or woman. And that happens to a lot of us because we're fixated on these finite points of time and what things should or should not be. I'm saying, fuck that shit. If something looks as close as possible to your dream coming true, grab that shit and figure out the rest later. Because if you don't, you have motherfuckers like me will see a seedling of an opportunity and I will grab that shit right in front of your motherfucking face before you have a chance to go boo, blink, or anything. So, I hope you learned something. I truly hope you learned something because this will make your life, your heart, and your mind a lot easier. Please don't go any place. I'm going to be talking about something in the news next. So I read an article and it was called When a Stranger Decides to Destroy Your Life. There was a woman named Monica, and Monica fit a certain American, stereotypical life. But what happened to her in 2015 is that she was plunged into a nightmare. She got a call at 6 a.m. from a colleague telling her something terrible had been posted about her on a real estate brokerage Facebook page. And Monica naturally had thought at first that it meant that she received a bad customer review, but it turned out to be much worse than that. It was a link to a story on that Facebook page. A link to a story about Monica on a site called She's a Homewrecker. The site exists for the sole purpose of shaming the quote unquote alleged other woman. Now, the author of this post claimed that she and her husband had used Monica as their realtor, and everything was great until she walked in on Monica having sex with her husband on the floor of a home the couple had been scheduled to see. Now, this unnamed woman went into graphic detail about the sex act and claimed she'd taken photos that she used to get everything from her husband in a divorce. But here's the thing. On the site called She's a Homewrecker, the only photo that this unnamed woman posted was a headshot taken from Monica's bio page from the real estate brokerage website. So yes, let's backtrack a little bit. Monica living a typical American life. She's a real estate agent. Her business is customer relations and her public image. She gets a colleague to contact her to let her know that something bad had happened. And she thought something bad was a customer review, a bad customer review. But instead, she was targeted. And she had a story posted about her on a site called She's a Homewrecker. And this woman claimed to have all this proof and ammunition. But the only thing she really had was her story and a fucking photo that she got from a public website, which is a real estate page. So naturally, Monica was horrified because the story was fabricated and she had no idea why someone would write it. The link was sent to Monica's husband, family members, and many of her professional contacts. Yes, that shit was put on fucking blast. So real estate agents make money off of their image, their credibility, their character, and whoever this is was going for Hiroshima style. She was blowing that shit up, whoever fabricated the story. The story was reposted on other sites where it was viewed 95,000 times. It became the top search result for Monica on Google. So if you typed in Monica, her first name and last name, you didn't get the fact that Monica was a successful real estate agent at a particular real estate brokerage firm. No, you got the fact that she was a motherfucking home wrecker. That is how she was topping on Google. That's how she was ranking. The repercussions of this was her real estate listings dropped by half and she lost over $200,000 in business. Now, Monica was looking at every person in her life, stranger, family member, and all. She was side-eyeing every motherfucker. She wanted to know who did it and why. Eventually, after spending $100,000 in attorney bills, Monica was able to unmask the culprit. It turned out to be a complete stranger who had been offended by a comment Monica had written about a news article on Facebook. Yes, whoever the stranger is, unnamed person, decimated this woman's character, her public image, basically her profession, her life, her job, how she helps provide for her family, over a comment from a news article on Facebook. The woman's name that targeted Monica, her name was Molly. And Molly had disagreed with Monica's comment. Both of the women ended up arguing online, social media, on Facebook about her comments. And neither one of them was able to convince the other of the argument. They both stood on their own sides. They both had their own opinion. But Monica forgot about the exchange and went on about her life. Yeah, Monica had the exchange with the woman, but she turned around and went on with her life. But Molly, on the other hand, she stewed over this shit, over the exchange for a week, because she was at a low point in her life. She was a single mother with 2 sons and had a full-blown meth addiction and was making bad choices. So yeah, I mean, this is something for you guys to start pondering about, really pondering long and hard about. Because it's become a way of life. It's become natural to basically publicize the personal aspects of your being, of your soul, of your family. And when I'm telling you the story, it should really make you question and think about how much have you put yourself out there. And if you're comfortable with how you put yourself out there, then whatever happens, if something happens or not, you have to be prepared for situations like this. So Molly, after she was rubbed the wrong way by Monica, she spent a few hours researching Monica and knew she had enough to fake knowing her in real life. It was like the online version of road rage. Instead of pulling a gun, she dropped a bomb on Monica's reputation. Molly submitted the fabricated story to She's a Homewrecker, and then gave it to a local news outlet and forgot about it. So this woman did some shit, malicious shit, and she goes on with her life like nothing ever happened. Forgot about the shit. Got it out of her system. Figured, you know what? I did one for justice, and she moved on with her life. Eventually, Molly retracted and said, while Monica is not an adulterous woman, to my knowledge, she is guilty, in my opinion, of Facebook trolling the wrong person. Facebook trolling the wrong person. So the women, eventually over time, agreed to meet. And Molly had thought that Monica was a mean, rich bitch because of social media. She made assumptions about her. Yeah, she made assumptions about her. And after everything was said and done, Molly finally determined that Monica was a kind and compassionate person with whom she shares many common values. She then says she would like Monica to accept her deepest regret for the harm she brought to the lives of Monica and her family. And Molly wanted to take the post down but couldn't. You see, this is just, it's amazing because, you know, the wonderful thing about social media is that it has brought a number of people together from all parts of the world, all walks of life, all backgrounds. It's a beautiful thing. But with all beautiful things, there's a flip side to that coin. And the flip side is perceptions. Yeah, the flip side is perceptions. What people think about you based on images. And I find it unbelievable that people cannot take a step back and say, this picture, this moment in time, does it really truly reflect all the other moments in time and all the other facets of a person's life? How do you make a blanket assumption on how someone is based on, one, photos of their life, two, comments on one particular subject? And the funny thing is, when we're discussing and interacting with people online, we don't really know who the hell we're interacting with. Yes, people like to create this facade, this image of who they are, but they're actually trying to portray who they want to be instead of who they really are. Because if most of us were comfortable with who we are, we would let it all hang out. All the many, the good, the bad, the ugly, the pretty, everything we have, but we don't do that because we are taught to come up with images. So Molly was at a low point in her life. Molly was jealous, but Molly was also Facebook trolling. That is why her and Monica met. So how was Molly going to judge Monica for Facebook trolling when Molly was doing the same damn thing? And then Molly, because she didn't like the exchange, decided, you know what? I'm going to ruin this person's life because I'm ruining my own life. I don't like what this person said to me. So I'm already at a miserable point in my life. Who else can I bring down with me? How else can I destroy this woman because she didn't tell me what the fuck I want to hear, or she didn't show me what the fuck I wanted to see? So I'm going to destroy her. I want to bring her to her knees like I'm on my knees already. I want to strip her of everything that's important to her because I myself am stripping myself of everything that's important to me because of my meth addiction. And then you got Monica, who was blindsided. Her business was lost. She wanted to know who did this to her and why. Who did this to her and why? She spent tens of thousands of dollars and a lot of time trying to unearth who did this. But let me ask you this. Let me pose this question about Monica. What if Monica says, you know what? It's not true. My husband knows it's not true. And frankly, I don't give a fuck. What if she said that? Or what if Monica actually said, you know what? You got pictures of me. You got videos of me. Put that shit out there then. If you're calling me a home wrecker, and you saying that I stole your husband, you divorced him because of me, put the proof out there. Put the proof out there. Prove that I did what you said. You're saying, man, Tara, that's audacious. She could lose her career. She probably suffered because of that. But she was suffering either which way, either direction she turned, because she lost a lot of money and time.
She lost a lot of credibility, a lot of face. She lived in fear that if every potential client she would get or had would try to sleep with her. That's what Monica was going through. She had to get a security alarm system for her home because she thought something was going to happen to her. All because of what other people thought or think about what she, quote unquote, allegedly did, but she didn't do it. Now, my question I have to pose to you guys is, let's say someone says some shit about you and it's not true. You know it's not true. They know it's not true, but everyone else believes it's true. What are you going to do? Are you going to go around trying to convince every motherfucker that that story is not true? Now, you know that's a losing battle. People love to believe negative, juicy, gossipy shit. Yes, listen to what the fuck I said. People like that shit. It gives them something to talk about. It gives them life. And the fact that you're going around trying to convince them that shit is not true, if you're trying to convince somebody some shit is not true, then naturally they're going to believe it's true. So what if Monica took a revolutionary approach, saying, you know what, this shit is not true. She has no motherfucking proof. Fuck it. I'm going to live my life. Who chooses to believe that shit? That's on them. But I'm going forward. I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. I don't give a fuck about what you said. And if you got the truth, your proof, put my ass and nipples on motherfucking display. If you're going to show that shit, do that shit. If you ain't got the motherfucking proof, then the bitch is a liar. What if she took that approach? Now you're saying that's some bold, audacious, crazy shit. Yeah, it's bold and audacious, but you have to keep in mind, what Molly did was bold and audacious. Molly went for Monica's jugular. She went for her fucking main goddamn vein. She was trying to kill the bitch. She was trying to kill Monica in all areas possible. She put a grenade in one aspect of her life, and that grenade exploded in all other facets of her life. Personally, professionally, and individually for her. And then Molly went on with her addiction and struggling to get her life back on track. So what do? You try to save your face and image? Or you move forward in your truth knowing that it's not true. And whoever chooses to go forward with that, then they must not really be your friend and move on with your life. Yeah, that's a hard path to take. It's a hard path. It's also a courageous path. Because you can't stop people from saying shit about you. You can't stop people from trying to do shit to you. You have no control over that. And if you're trying to get your arms around that and try to control that, you can never catch it all. There's always going to be something that falls through the cracks. So what is it that I'm trying to tell you? You're always going to meet someone who is at a low point in their life. And fortunately or unfortunately, you may cross paths. You may cross paths. And you may have some type of exchange that may not be as productive as either party would like. And that would leave someone to be angry, hostile. Now, this person is vindictive. They may try to harm you. And that won't be the first or the last time that someone tries to harm you. But what do you do about it? What do you do about it? Do you give more life, more energy back into it? Trying to disprove it? Trying to reclaim something that was? Monica could never have the picture perfect, clean image that she used to before Molly dropped the bomb. Listen to what I said. Molly intentionally stole that quote unquote halo of an image that Monica had. Molly stole that shit. And even after Monica spent hours, months, hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to correct her image, she can never be who she used to be prior to Molly's actions. Now that takes some wisdom and some self-awareness to realize, you know what? I can never get back what I lost. Because what has happened to Monica has changed her forever. It's changed her life forever. It has haunted her. It has traumatized her. It has changed her forever. She can never go back to the woman that she used to be. And even after Molly realized that she's not some mean, rich bitch, and she felt sorry, what the fuck is Monica going to do with a fucking apology? She's lost money that she'll never get. She's lost money that Molly could never be able to motherfucking pay. That credibility, that goodwill that she's built up with her brand, her real estate license brand and image, She'll probably get that eventually over time. But Molly really harmed her. So even after she sat down, Monica and Molly sat down face to face, and they got an understanding of one another, and they shared common values, the fact is this: the damage is done. So you're asking, okay, Tara, the damage is done. The real question I want to ask all of you guys is, have you figured out why it really happened? You're saying it happened because Monica was Facebook trolling and Molly was Facebook trolling, and they met and they didn't like each other. But it's something more deeper behind that. People do shit for whatever their reasons are. They're at a low point in life. They don't like what you look. They don't like how you said it. They don't like whatever. And they decide to destroy you. And they come for you and they have some level of success. Now they feel bad about the shit. And you're supposed to accept their apology? I made an episode about this before. What's the value of an apology? Apology is useless. Apology is nothing. When someone says, I'm sorry, and you forgive them, you know what that is? That's a way for you to help them feel motherfucking better about their actions. Yes, listen to what I said. Someone did some foul shit to you. They say, I'm sorry. You say, I forgive you. Your forgiveness has basically made them feel better about doing some bad shit. Let me tell you this. Don't help anyone feel better about the foul shit they've done. No, let them stew in the mess that they created and let them fix that shit on their own. Never help anyone feel better about their misdeeds. Do not help them. They created their ditch. They threw themselves in that ditch and they cover themselves up in dirt and bury themselves alive. You let them claw their way out of that old mess. Don't go around helping people clean up their bullshit. Because if they were making better decisions, they wouldn't have put themselves in that place in the first place. So the only way for them to truly learn, grow, is to get themselves out of the situation they were in. Now, what do you do about Monica? Well, Monica, this is a character building moment. She can completely not care and go forward with her head held high and have people look at her side eye and do all that stuff about her being a homewrecker. Or she can fight the client to clean it up. But she could have saved that $100,000. The $200,000 that she lost in income, add the other $100,000 on top of that. So she lost $300,000 in this. If she would have kept that $100,000, she would have minimized her business losses from Molly's actions. Yes, Molly caused her to lose $200,000. And then Monica spent another $100,000 trying to save her image, her face. But if Monica would have put her pride aside and realized, you know what? I know this is not true. And this is going to fade like everything else. And I'm going to keep going forward like I have and doing the best job I have and build my brand up the way it needs to be. And also, I'm going to keep this $100,000 that this legal fees that is going to cost me. Monica could have minimized the amount of money that she actually lost. So she would have lost 50% less instead of adding an additional 50% more. And I probably confused some of you, but that's okay. The fact is, Molly spent extra money trying to clean up an image that she's never going to have again. And it was all for her ego. And you're saying, well, you know, if someone has her go around and look like a homewrecker, that's very important. It's only important if you care about what other people think. The only person that really matters is you, what you think and how you feel. And if you get your self-worth, your value based upon how other people see you, you're always going to be a target. You're going to be exposed to other people who are going to come for you. If you don't care, people cease to have power. I tell my kids this all the time. Just because someone said something, it doesn't make it true. And even if it is true, so the fuck what? So what? There's not one person on this earth who is perfect. Because perfection does not exist. We all are here to make mistakes, if we consider it a mistake, and to learn and to grow. You cannot hinder the learning and growing process. You cannot learn without mistakes. You cannot learn without mistakes. Now, Monica, even though she disagreed with Molly, and I'm not sure exactly what was exchanged, it could have been handled, or the whole conversation argument could have been closed with a lot more grace, compassion, and love. Yes. You can have two people that disagree and they still don't give a fuck about what the other person thinks. But you can handle that person with love and respect and agree to disagree. And you can also try to understand where the other person's coming from and relate to them. That will help cut down people feeling minimized, right? That will help cut that down if you approach them with love. If you help them solve what their real problem is. You see, they're arguing about some shit that means nothing. The fact is, something Monica said rubbed Molly the wrong way. Now, Monica took a step back to say, okay, where is she coming from? Why does she feel this way? She could have put a cork on that shit. And if Molly took a moment to say, you know what is it that she's really trying to say? But no, everyone was caught up in their feelings. Everyone was caught up in their own point of view. And we have not realized today that each person's version of the truth is not really anything. Each person has their own perception about what is and what's not. So when you guys are engaging on social media and you're going around decimating people, you're trying to check a motherfucker. You're trying to make people understand that they're not that, or they're not that special, or when you're doing all that, you have to really take a moment before you start typing and going to motherfucking war with people, before you start going to war, you have to take a moment to step back and say, why has this person done this? Why are they doing this? You see, you think that they're attacking you, but what they're doing is they're actually portraying themselves and their insecurities and their issues to you. And when people attack you based off their insecurity and their issues, if you come back with a motherfucking sledgehammer, you may run the risk of having a fucking Molly attack. So if before you go to social media war, really try to understand, why is this person angry and upset? And work at addressing that shit. And realizing that this person's problem is not your problem. And we can all agree to disagree. We don't have to agree with every motherfucking thing. But what we do need to agree on is that there's another human being at the other side of that. And if they are acting out in anger, there's a reason, and you need to kind of cool that shit down and calm it the fuck down. Be human. Because when you're not human and you mishandle someone, then you may have someone like Molly who basically internet stalks your ass and comes up with fake ass stories and then ruins your goddamn life and tries to apologize for some shit. It's too late then. Don't battle with people. And if you're going to battle to get to a common understanding or common ground. Yes, this is what the fuck I said. If you're having a disagreement with someone and you want to go back and forth with them, that's fine. But whatever back and forth you're going with, you want to make sure that you alter that shit into something that is a mutual understanding and respect, and you can agree to disagree. Don't go around fucking decimating people. You can decimate their view and help uplift them as a person, but don't decimate the person. You can disagree with their view, but you don't have to disagree with their being, the fact that they exist. So really think about how you handle people and how you approach them. And you're saying, Tara, who the fuck are you? You curse very hard. Yes, I curse very horribly. I do that shit as an expression. But also, I get a lot of side eye. I get a lot of fucking foul comments from people, and I make videos about that shit. Because when I'm making my videos, I'm really getting to heart of what's going on. Why have I moved someone so that they took the time, energy, and effort to leave this hater shit on my site? I address that shit. I go to the heart of the matter. So we need to stop dealing with this fucking peripheral shit and go to the heart of the matter and then start solving problems and helping people move along on their life path so they can grow and learn. And stop making assumptions about who or what you think a person is or is not based on their photos. These photos are isolated moments. They cannot begin to define what a human being is and what their life is about. It can't. So don't make assumptions. Don't make judgments. You know what? If you want to find out if someone's a rich motherfucking bitch, you ask them, hey, are you a rich, mean motherfucking bitch? Ask the person, are you a rich, mean motherfucking bitch? And give her a chance to say, yes, I am. No, I'm not. And if she says, yes, I am, then you can say, why do you think you're a rich, mean motherfucking bitch? And if she says, no, I'm not, then you ask her, why are you not a rich, mean motherfucking bitch? That's what you ask her. You give her a chance to answer your question. Don't be cowardly. Don't be cowardly. You want to make an assumption? Fine. Go research that shit. Go get the facts from the fucking horse's mouth. Don't take some shit and run with it and say you think you're justified from doing some foul shit because of your assumption. You're wrong. And your apology cannot save you from the karma that you're going to receive from the bad shit. Apologies do not erase shit. Feeling bad doesn't do shit. I hate to burst y'all bubble. Stop apologizing. It's not going to do shit for your karma. Stop apologizing and stop feeling bad about shit. That's not going to fix what the fuck you've done. How you going to fix it? You got to learn and grow, and you got to change your actions and make something better in this life to erase the horribleness that you have caused. And I don't even know if horribleness is a word. I don't care. You understand what I mean. Stop feeling bad about shit you've done. Stop apologizing for shit you've done. Fix the shit. Fix it. And if you can't fix it, too motherfucking bad, you need to go touch someone else's life in a positive manner to erase the negativity you've done. Apologies won't save you from your karma, and feeling bad won't save you from your karma. Your actions and learning is what's going to make it better for you. Fuck apologies. Fuck feeling bad. You did the shit. Own it. Learn from it, grow from it, and move the fuck on, and don't do it again. Got it? Be careful on social media. Don't go decimating people because they're not in front of your face. There's another person at the other end of your message, and keep that in mind. Stop looking at people's pictures and having motherfucking opinions without considering how it's going to impact one person or another or yourself. Think about that. We're too comfortable with what's going on with the social media. We need to use better judgment and greater discretion. Because if you don't know who is at a low point in their life. And you don't know if they're trying to bring you lower than what they are. So tread very carefully. Be conscious of what you're doing. And if someone does try to destroy you, I suggest you keep your motherfucking money and say, fuck it. It ain't true. I don't give a fuck. And whoever wants to believe it, they can get out of my life too. And I'll move on and find other people. Simple as that. Let it go. Move the fuck on. Yeah, you're going to people side-eyeing you. Yeah, you're going to get some people not wanting to do business with you. That's okay. But there's always somebody else who will want to do business with you. All you have to do is be patient and diligent and live your life, live your truth, and hold your head high. If someone wants to call you a home wrecker, that means that they're worried and insecure and they need to get their house straight. You can't go around fixing every motherfucker that has an issue with you. Let them go. Wish them peace and love and move forward with your motherfucking life. So I hope you guys have learned something, but really be careful because you can have some people who are not making good judgments try to fuck your shit up. And then you have an option. You have many options to figure out how to approach this. But the question is, what type of character building option you're going to choose. So that is it for this episode. And I'll speak to you guys next week. Bye. Are you disappointed this has come to an end? Well, it doesn't have to. Reach out and let me know what you think about this episode and my podcast. You can try and slide into my DM, but I will kick your ass out. So I suggest you hop into my DM on Instagram at Difficult and Demanding or Twitter at Mrs. D and D, or leave a comment on one of my posts. Now give. My episode links to friends, family, associates, frenemies. Hell, give it to your enemies. Actually, I don't give a damn who you give it to. Just give the shit to people and bring laughter to others and show your love for this podcast. I have this magical ability. I can really rub someone the wrong way. A listener lost the ability to remember not to date me and took the opportunity to let me know about his problem. Check out my new sideshow episode. It is called Remind Me Not to Date You. You can get it by searching for Difficult and Demanding on YouTube or watch on IGTV. In the meantime, visit my feed on Instagram at Difficult and Demanding to see all that I have for you. Episode 39 is here on August 17, 2018 from the I'm Difficult and Demanding podcast, keeping it real on the ridiculous world we live in.